Oh, okay.
Yeah, and
That's an interesting topic.
this is definitely an interesting topic. And yeah, what we want to know is how identity branding is received by Romanian culture. Like we have a peer of us. She's in Germany at home, and she is Hungarian Romanian.
Oh, okay.
And she searched for some cases for us, and there was a case where Dior stole.
That's so cool.
Okay,
I know
so
that
you
one.
know it.
Yeah. It was
Perfect.
very.
Perfect.
I've seen it online and.
And
There was a lot of buzz around it.
yeah, she told like really much also on Facebook, like they were not really happy about it. And our question on this was like, why is this? What are the influences? Because we thought about okay, what would happen when somebody, for example, we are from Germany, and when somebody would wear Dirndl or lederhosen, it would not offend us actually.
Okay.
Office ăla am pe română.
Stați așa că nu cred că...
Voi fi o frumos să vrea dracu, și ca văd frumos dracu. Să mai săracă, mă, nu ură. Da, serios, bă. Doamne, nu mă jurați pe aceea.
Nu vă jurăm, nu. Avem puțin de vorbă, da? La revedere.
Okay. Don't worry.
Okay, so the question is, why do I think they were offended?
Exactly.
People were offended.
Yeah.
I think that it's just an assumption, right? So I think that how they use this is without giving credit to the maybe the nation.
Okay.
Like they use this ethnographical, like the symbols that are a real part of our identity. Our identity is kind of a complicated topic because of all these influences around, but there are some things that kind of are undisputable part of our identity, and these folkloric elements are part of that. And I am assuming that it would have been nice for them to give credit, like, oh, we are using these influences from this part of Romania to in our designs, but I think there was no mention of that, and
yeah,
probably that's why people got upset and made a statement out of this,
So there's a sense of abuse, kind of.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, because on the other hand, like it's the Romanian blouse is a very big part of our identity, and if you guys will go to unfortunately the Peasants Museum is closed up until next year, but they have a souvenir shop with traditional Romanian crafted things that are on sale, and they have a wide variety of Romanian folkloric costumes, out of which the Romanian blouse is the key element to that.
Okay.
Because it has these symbols sewn, and each part of the country has its own symbols and different colors and different textures, and it's a way to really get to know the country by getting to know this like fashion, right? And the Romanian blouse, for instance, was I'm not sure exactly what international brand, or like was it Marc Jacobs, I'm not sure, but I know that Adele appeared on the cover of a magazine, Vogue, I think it was, wearing a Romanian blouse, and credit was given, and that was done in a totally different.
And it was a sense of pride.
It was
because
a sense
it was
of pride,
recognized.
exactly. It was recognized.
Because for us also the question was about owning symbols like this, or are they proud of it when somebody shows it, or is it where starts inspiration and where starts stealing?
Yes, that's a good question, and I think this like a trademark owning thing, these are part of a world that we are just recently part of, because back in the days, the communist days, when we were not necessarily part of this very globalized world, there was no sense of that. It was just ours, and nobody felt like they needed to steal it. Now, Dior is taking this in order to make profit out of it, because it looks nice and so on, So I think this like the capitalistic dimension of our globalized world is forcing people put labels like this is mine and I'm protecting it with this law, and It's something that we're not very good at because I told you we were just very
Not used to it,
recently
yeah.
introduced to this
Yes. Yeah.
capitalistic mindset. 30 years is nothing historical in terms of historical time. So I guess that's why we're just learning the craft.
But it's a really, really interesting point. Do you want to say?
I just want to ask, because you said like mentioning that it's from Romania. Would you say it's just mentioning or also like financial support into the society?
Artisans.
I didn't really think about it. And I don't think that. I tend to believe that the financial support was not intended
Okay, good.
necessarily. I think it would be nice,
Yeah,
but
it's not
I think that the
okay.
campaign that they
They
did
have
had this kind of twist, like
Yeah, they initiate like
a fundraising thing, right?
yeah, like another brand which are also selling this jackets and give money to the craft
Uh-huh.
workers.
Listen, there's a lot of projects like I can even give you some names that, for instance, Romanian projects of Romanian designers that are reinterpreting the Romanian blouse in a modern fashion and are
Oh.
also selling it worldwide. And actually, these Romanian blouses are quite an expensive thing. Like to get one second hand can be 50, 60 euros, but to get a new one starts from 100 euros because they're handmade, they're
Stitch
sewn
by
manually.
stitch, yeah.
Yes, so it's a lot of work put in it. It's not like Zara, H&M. They're not using workforce from another part of the world exploiting cheap labor force. They're,
Yeah.
it's people connecting with their place,
Yeah.
and they love doing this. So it should be valued in a sense.
Nice.
Of course, yeah.
Cool.
I'm totally fine.
Yeah.
Do you think there is a change in the social fabric that they get like a little bit opened and globalized, and also are a little bit encouraged to sell their identity in the world and take profit out of it?
Romanians. I think Romanian. It's hard to look at Romanians as a, Romania is a very mixed kind of, has a mixed kind of reality. It's urban Romania, so we have 60% of Romania, which is rural, right? So if you come to Bucharest and think you know Romania, you have actually no idea about what Romania is. And we don't either. That's the problem, That's why when elections happen, we're kind of shocked about how
The
things-
results.
about the result. But we live in a bubble. And it's the corporate bubble, it's the city bubble, and the whole country is actually very. There's a divide between generations, between urban and rural, and that's it's a difficult situation we're in because I don't think we really know how to bridge these gaps yet.
Okay.
So I think this is something that we should focus on. That should be our priority. So your question was a bit, I guess, different. But can you repeat the question? Because I felt this was an introduction to the answer. But
If referred a little bit to the last part you tell at the
Okay, with
store,
the
like
okay.
You want to spread out that Romania is a good country.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
For me personally, when you okay, sorry,
No problem.
It's a little bit disturbed. When you spread out your culture as fashion items, for
Okay.
example, this also helps to
Yeah.
get
And I've
Romania
told you, look, I can.
recognized, right?
Yes, that's right. And this project that I thought about, and there's one, for instance, it's called Mândra Chic. It's these projects that are reinterpreting tradition in a modern fashion. I think.
But
there's-
it's Romanian, right?
Yes.
It's not like an external
No,
designer
it's
took over.
local business. It's local business.
Do you have an example of maybe an external person that made use of Romanian?
Well, this Adele
Folklore?
that got if you
Ah,
if
okay.
you're gonna
That's
search
a good
Adele
one.
Romanian
That's a
blouse,
Yeah, that's a
you're
positive
you're gonna find this picture
Okay.
on the cover of the Vogue magazine,
Okay.
and it was very kind of famous, very viral. And there was this designer, but I just completely forgot who it was. The name Marc Jacobs pops up in my mind, but it could not be him.
Okay,
so-
okay. Michael Kors?
No,
No?
definitely not. This is a bigger one. So.
Okay.
How the strong
I agree, Marc
connection
Jacobs is
from
better.
Romanian people to their culture,
trust me.
items or symbols. For example, we are German. We are not really connected to the symbols like the Dirndl or stuff.
Yeah.
So maybe this is also a point why this is so sensitive.
Well, there's some elements that we're kind of very fond of. This one that I've mentioned, the blouse, which is mostly worn by women, but also men wear it, and it's becoming so after a while, because communism killed. So the purpose of communism, at least in Romania, but I'm pretty sure it can be stretched to other countries, was to kill identity. So they wanted to create an identity of their own. I'm coming from Berlin. Last week I was in Berlin, and and it was fascinating, although quite difficult to take in all that reality. But all evil wanted to do the same in the world, that manifested through these despotic leaders. They wanted to give a new identity to the people. So Ceausescu wanted to kill the church. He wanted to. He harassed intellectuals. He despised people that were coming from noble families that had a lot of history, because he despised a certain level of culture, of higher education and perspective. Although he wanted to impose his view of the world, and that's what I guess all imperialist leaders wanted to do. Hitler wanted to do pretty much the same, I guess. So this way of manifesting control of the world is what corrupts individuals to a very profound way. 50 years of communism is 2 generations that were born and lived completely under communism, which is it's enough to erase
Some
a big
identity.
part of identity, yes. And still, because there was quite a strong movement of resisting communism, parts of our identity were preserved. We are anyway troubled in our identity because we're in the middle, and we've had all these empires around us for centuries.
So maybe that's why it's such a sensitive topic, because they don't.
Absolutely.
Like, what's my identity? Why are you using it?
Yeah.
Who am I?
Yeah.
Why am I here?
a lot of elements of our identity, part of it comes from the rural areas, from the folklore, and a lot of it comes from the church, right? So part of our identity is icons, crosses, all of these. Actually, the symbol
stitching?
that is the stitch that is sewn on the Romanian blouse is called a cross, Cruciuliță, right? A cross.
Yeah.
So that's another link with the faith that is so deeply embedded in our nation, because like we've been Christian right at the beginning by Saint Apostle Andrew. It was one of the 12, right, that went around the world to spread Christianity, and he was sent around the Black Sea. Us, the Greeks, the Russians, the Ukrainians, we all received the Gospel from Andrew, which creates a very important common ground of, that reflects in the culture, in different aspects of how we behave, and so on.
Nice.
Wow, so much information.
Thank you so much.
Wow,
Well,
so
thank
cool.
you so much
Lot
as
of
well.
insight.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Lot of insight.
it will be very
We have
helpful.
so
No, I think I'm good.
Okay,
Thank you so
You're
much.
welcome.
I'm really glad I could,
This-
maybe help. a
This
bit.
tour will be one of the highlights of our
Yeah.
business. Yeah.
I
Thank
want to
you.
understand the culture.
I'm really happy
Thank you
about
for
that.
helping
Thank you.
us.
Let's take a picture all together.
Okay.